Hi, in this session, we'll look at some financial functions. So the first financial function that we are going to see is EMI. So EMI helps you calculate your monthly installments. So EMI, easy monthly installments. For example, you purchased a laptop worth rupees 1 lakh from Amazon, but you see that the amount is like too big and you don't want to upfront pay 1 lakh. Rather, what you do is you go to SBI Bank and you ask SBI Bank to pay that amount for you, and in return you will give that payment in installments. But SBI Bank says, okay, I'll do that for you, but the installments that you'll be paying me back through, I would not to go for just 1 lakh rupees, but there is going to be a charge for that, and it would be like 12% for annually. So that's like annual 12% interest rate that SBI agrees that he wants to charge from you in return. And then you both agree that okay, this amount will be paid in 60 months, that is in 5 years. So you'll take 5 years to pay 1 lakh rupees to SBI in installments, and that the amount, that is 1 lakh that SBI is paying to Amazon, but for that he is charging you 12%. So now in order to calculate this, that okay, you have to pay the amount this much of at interest rate, what is the monthly payment that you have to give to SBI? So for that we have this formula, that is PMT, and PMT calculates the payment for a loan based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. So this interest rate is going to remain constant for these 5 years, that is 16 months, and it's going to be a constant interest as well. So the payment is also constant and the interest is also constant. So let's see what this PMT formula is. So these are the arguments. We have to provide the rate. And remember, we are calculating monthly payment. So everything what we have to give here should be monthly. Here, what is the rate? So it's the rate that you will be giving to SBI. So the annual interest rate is 12%. But what you have to do is you have to divide it by 12, because it is the monthly payment that we are interested in. So instead of annual, that is 12%, you divide by 12 to get the monthly rate. Now next is that NPER. What is this NPER? So it's number of months to repay this amount. So you both have already agreed that it will take like 60 months, that is 5 years, to repay the total amount. So let's select this. Next is PV, that is the present value. So at present, what is the value of loan? So the value of loan is 1 lakh, because this is what the SBI paid. This is the amount of the the price of the laptop that SBI paid, and so this is the present value of the loan. Now there is FV. What is this FV? FV is the future value of the loan. So we intend to pay the entire amount in 60 months. So what is the value of the loan after 60 months? Is going to be 0, because you intend to repay the entire amount after 60 months. But then now again, FV, you see that it is in these square brackets. So this is not an this is an optional argument. This is not mandatory. You can ignore it if you are just paying the loan. You are paying the whole loan and the outstanding is 0. Okay, now next is type. Type means payment is timed at the end of the period or beginning of the period. That means whether you are doing the payment at the last date of the month, that is end of the month, let's say 28th or 30th of the month, or you are paying it at the beginning of the month, that is first of every month. So if you want to pay it at the end of the month, you type 0, otherwise you type 1. So let's say we are paying it at the end of the period, so I type 0. So there is this concept in finance that is time value of money, and because you have like 30 days, that also influences. So I'm doing it by 0, that is end of the period, and close the bracket. So 2,224 is the amount that I'll be paying every month in order to pay this 1 lakh, and this I'll be paying for 60 months, that is 5 years. So what is the total amount actually I'm paying? Am I paying 1 lakh? No, there is some charge that SBI is taking, that is like 12% annual interest rate. So I'll end up paying 1,33,467. So I'll be paying 33,467 more because I'll be paying it in 60 months. Okay, so that is the EMI calculator. That is how you can calculate the monthly payments. One more thing is there, that if you have like any of these 4 things, so these are the 4 things, if you have any 3 of these 4 things, you can calculate the 4th one. Thank you. Next, we'll discuss about this Nper formula. Let's say the bank is not ready to negotiate at 12% and the bank wants it to be 12%, but you don't have this capacity to pay this 2,224 of monthly EMIs, and you can't pay more than say 1,500 as EMI every single month. So in that case, if there is no change in the annual interest rate, the annual interest rate is 12%, and then you can't pay 2,224 and you can pay only 1,500. So the number of periods in that case will increase, because the EMI now will decrease. It's going to be 1,500 instead of 2,000. So now what can we do? How to find out what will be my number of periods? It's not going to be 60, it's going to be higher than that. So what is the formula for that? So the term of loan, say I have to pay this loan, 12% is the interest, and what's going to be the number of periods? So for that, we can use this Nper formula, and it returns the number of periods for an investment based on periodic constant payments and a constant interest rate. So what is the rate? Because the bank is not ready to negotiate, is going to be same, that is 12%. What is the PMT? How much are you going to pay every month? So you decide that your salary is this much, you can't pay more than 1,500. So that is the PMT. And then what is the PV? So the present value for this is the same, that is 1 lakh rupees, because that is the amount for the laptop. And okay, and after that there is this future value and type. This is something which is optional, like you see this is in square brackets. So I just select this and get the value. So for this, this is going to be your term of loan. There is something wrong in this. The monthly payment should not be in positive but should be in negative. It should be minus 1,500 because the money is going out. And so when you do this NPER, also my rate is going to be 12% divided by 12. So this is the value that I get. So the term of loan, instead of 60, it has increased to 110. Rather, I should say 111, because it's 110.4. You can't decrease the decimal point. It's like 111. So that was all on NPER. That is Nper. Thank you. Now I'm just pasting this not as a formula but as a value. Okay, so now the thing is, let's say there's another situation wherein I have this so term of loan, I know but I don't know, say, the interest rate. So the thing is, I know that I have to pay the amount in 60 months, but I don't know what should be the interest rate. What would be the interest rate? If I pay 2,224 as my EMI for 60 months, then what's going to be the interest rate? And this is the loan amount. So what I can do is I can use this rate formula to find the interest rate when I already know what is my EMI, what is my number of periods. So I want to NPER, that is 60, that I'll pay this loan in 60 months, and the PMT, that is the EMI I'm ready to give, is 2,224. And the present value is the same, that is 1 lakh. And you can ignore FV, type and guess, because FV is future value, that's 0. Then type is also start or end. Again, it's not mandatory because all three are in square brackets. And the guess is just the best guess to make, that Excel asks you, that just decreases the time to calculate. That's also not required. So you select this. Now I get 1%. Why I'm getting 1%? Earlier it was 12%. This is because this is monthly interest rate. So if you want to find the annual interest rate, then just multiply it by 12. Now let's say there's one more situation, and say you don't know what is the price of the laptop. Say what should be the budget of the laptop that you can afford? Given that the interest rate the bank is charging is 12%, you can pay the loan in 60 months, and the EMI that is you can afford is this 2,224. And according to these three criteria, then what should be the budget of the laptop? That's what you are trying to find out. So we use this PV formula for that. And PV, what is the interest rate? So interest rate is this, and that would be divided by 12. And then what is the second argument is NPER. You just say that, okay, I'll pay this amount in 60 months. That is the NPER. Now that is what is going to be the next is your PMT. So what is the monthly installment that you are ready to pay? You are saying that, okay, 2,224 is the maximum that I can pay monthly, and based on that I would want to know what should be the budget of my laptop. So that is the third argument. Okay, so there's some problem. There are one or more circular references. Okay, so let me make this 12% as static. So that is 12%. And that gives me 1 lakh. So 1 lakh should be my budget.